Yo, what up, though? Welcome to the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast. I am your host, Jason, along with my big dog co-host, Chris. How you doing?
Dads, I'm good, man. And this is not the view. This is the dad's point of view. But we are not afraid to talk about women's farts. And if our kids ask for a granola bar, we're gonna say hell no. We're gonna tell some stories about the week, other things. Actually, tell you some questions about our approach to parenting, our failures, and our succeeding. I threw a massive pick six this week that I would talk to Jason about. Uh,
Oh,
so
oh,
yeah. So if you want to know why my fishing story was so good last week that technology interrupted just to play it again, or why the chili gods blessed Jason and Katie and had them forget their chili at home so they did not eat it before sleeping in a tent together, Jason can tell you where to find all this information.
100%, man. Guys, make sure that you go ahead and follow us on all platforms. We're here on Facebook at Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Rad Bad Sad. But we're not sad individuals, not sad gentlemen. We love what we do, but that's Rad Bad SAHD. Also, you can follow us on YouTube at Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast as well. Please make sure that you like the group that we're in right now so that way you can be abreast of everything that's going on. And then also subscribe to us. Subscribe over on YouTube. We need some followers to get us up and moving, and on Twitter. All right, guys. You can find us on all streaming platforms for podcast. That's Deezer, that's Amazon, that's iHeartRadio, that's Apple. Wherever you stream your podcast from, you can catch Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast on all of those places. Man, we got a great show today. I'm excited to talk. 4th of July has just passed. That was Chris's favorite holiday. But
Oh,
it
it's
sounds like
great.
we got some dun dun dun, some juicy juice to talk about. But I'm excited, man. Let's go hop in, man. How was your 4th of July, player?
Fourth, the second, third, fourth, and 5th of July were all amazing. It's a weekend. It was a weekend for me. We're down in Florida. Some great fireworks, some great family time. I did my pick six did happen over the 4th of July. I thought I'd tell you.
For,
Um,
for some of y'all got to go back to the last episode. We talked about touchdowns and interceptions. So he did a pick six.
oh
This
yeah.
is a holy drop of a deal here. Go ahead, man.
Well, normally when we go places, my wife, she, I pack my stuff, and then she packs the majority of the kids' stuff and her stuff. Two reasons: one, she's control freak when it comes to that, and two is she's got this notion in her head that I might forget something. That's a little foreshadowing to the story. So, when we got married, I was 30 pounds heavier than I am today.
Okay.
Thus,
Gains. All right. All right.
the wedding ring, my wedding ring doesn't fit perfectly for me. Like, so if I throw a football, the ring goes with it. When I jump in the water, I either have no wedding ring or I close my fist. Took my wedding ring off before I went down to the beach the first day on the bathroom counter, and I left it on the bathroom counter. It's still on the bathroom counter in Florida.
In Florida.
So
What?
I am wedding ringless, and this notion of me forgetting something kind of, this wasn't a phone charger. This wasn't a pair of contacts. This was just my my image to the public that I was married is now spoken for. So the women have been flocking at my feet. And,
That's happened.
yeah, so I got to wait a couple weeks for my in-laws to fly up to get it back for me. So major pick six, but my tan line will now get better.
There you go. So that's a good thing, right? So now you're telling us that where you went to was where the family was at. So
Right.
they were able to retrieve it. This is not like you're at a hotel and left it on the hotel bathroom.
No, when we go up north to the cabin, I don't even bring my wedding ring up there for that reason. I've
Sure.
been I've been known to have a few on vacation and howl at the moon at the end.
There you go. What up, though? We got Reeves in the building. What's good with you?
Thanks
Uh,
for listening.
Thanks for listening. Once again, guys, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and on my personal Facebook. So, guys, make sure you go over and like the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad group, as well as subscribe to the YouTube group as well. We're also over on Twitter. Look for Rad Bad Sad. That's our Rad Bad SAHD. That way you can link up with us as well. So we appreciate everybody stopping in. That is a major pick six.
But
Wow.
the good news is that she knows that like when I work out or when I go play softball or play bat, I don't wear my wedding ring, so it's not like I just like snuck it out and ran down to the beach without her. So it's just it just took it off and just forgot the packet.
Now, one thing that I invest in, and it's the new not rubber. I don't want to degrade it down to rubber, but it's a
Right.
silicone. That silicone ring. Have you guys thought about getting one of those? So putting a nice precious metal away, kind of having it in a safe space, maybe a safe, and then rocking that silicone one.
No, because I'm so rough and tumble that I would break it within a week.
But that's the thing, that they're that tough that they're not going to break.
Well, then it's a challenge accepted because I bet you I could break it.
That is
But
a challenge.
she mentioned once that we should do like the tattoo things, and I'm like,
There you go.
to me that's a cliche. I got one tattoo, and to me it's an original. It was my concept. It wasn't anybody else, and I don't want to follow the group. No offense to anyone that did that. I'm not knocking you, Tommy Lee. I'm just saying it's not for me.
Tommy Lee, yes. Hey, so you know what? That's a good sponsor for us. We're gonna have to reach out to any of those companies that invest or have those kind of rings, so you can have it and put it to the test here on Rad Bad Stay at Home Dads podcast.
All right, so pause it, delete it. I would love to have one of those, Jason, and I would promote it if I had
There
it.
we go. We about to make it happen. Look, that's the next best thing, dude. I I didn't have any interceptions, man. This is a pretty boring game this weekend. Well, 4th of July weekend. We hung out with our family's friends, the Foleys, and they came over. We went over to their home on that Sunday. Katie worked either anyway, so it wasn't like we were able to really indulge in it. But what was awesome was that everybody got to stay up late. So the children bedtime in our household is like 7:30. I moved it to about 8:30 for the summer. So it was kind of cool for them to be up longer because they're used to going to bed when the sun's still up. So they up now when it's pitch black, fireworks are going off, kids are loving it. Um, we went to their home, so they stay in Inver Grove Heights, and that was about a good 20-25 minute drive. On the way home, all three of them dead to the world. Like they're passed out. Yes, slump necks in the car. Loose neck Lacey or whatever you want to call them. They were in the car slump. So waking them up, giving them a bath real quick, and putting them back to bed, probably one of the toughest things to ever do.
Oh, you woke him up.
Oh, how is somebody going to get them back in the house?
You gotta go stealth mode.
Ah,
Like the only one of the three that should have woken up would probably be the baby. I mean, you gotta go. That's the best part about summer is when they stay up late and they fall asleep. I mean, I got memories when I was a kid and I had 5 siblings, and my oldest brother would say, like, he was 13. So quoting him, say, I was 13 years old, and my dad would look at me and be like, hell no, you're like, you're walking. But no, I love it. I got pictures of my kids sleeping when we were out late all the time, and shit. Last year I did it with Soy, and he was like a good 70, 75 pounds, and I was like, this. It's like rub the hands and like I'm gonna go tiptoe and get him to his room, and then my dog just goes nuts and like, I know you're neutered, but I'm gonna do it again if you don't shut up, you know. So, but no, I love it. Yeah, they when they zonk and you care, that's a dad badge of honor for me. I wouldn't wake him up to bathe. Then you just think in your own bed, you're good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear you, but I had to get it done. I had to just because. Just you know what? I actually might be getting this mixed up together. I might get it mixed. Did we do that? I think we did do that. Either way, The favorite part of the whole thing is the next morning the whole house slept in. Normally we're up 7:30, 8:30 at the latest. This time we woke up probably about a good 9:30, 10. So this is
Nice.
July 5th, 9:30, 10. Hazel comes in the room. And this is what I promise my 8-year-old. She is beyond wit. She just looks at us, wakes us up, and goes, "It's time to wake up, guys." And we wake up. She's like, "It's okay to sleep in." I mean, we were up pretty late. I mean, we didn't go to bed till like 10, 10:30. So, to sleep in today is really cool. I was like, "Oh, look at you. Way to wake us up with your loving affection of allowing me to sleep in for a little bit."
Yeah, that's the joy of summer and of them getting older, because we were, I don't want to say we were strict bedtime, because we would there's an occasion when they were younger, you'd pay for it the next day with their attitudes and stuff. I don't know how July 5th was for you guys, but as my kids have gotten older now, they're getting up, they're sleeping in more, and we got a new alarm clock to know when Sawyer's up, and that's our dog sleeps with us,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden he's like, "Y'all lazy asses are still sleeping," and Sawyer's up, so he gets up. Sawyer lets him out and feeds him, and then Boss comes back in the bed, jumps on me, licks me in the forehead, and lays on my head. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, Sawyer must be up."
yeah, that's big
So,
time.
how was July 5th for you guys? And were they cranky kids or were they good?
No, they were actually really good. They were excited. They loved the fourth. They did this. So Hazel has the same responsibilities. We also have a dog, Annie, and she has the same responsibility. Early in the morning, she's the one like lets the dog out, grabs her food, and then since she kind of relaxes. So Hazel can decide to go back to bed or lay in bed, read a book, or sometimes she'll go and wake her sisters up because her sisters, Quinn and Margo, they stay in the same room. So Hazel walk into that room, she like everybody up, kind of like spoon on metal pan, everybody up, and then
Happy New Year's, bitches!
at this point, Margo is screaming. She's excited, and then when Margo comes and wakes us up or is up, she'll run and come in her bed and then lay on us and say, "Bake up, bake up, bake up," and then she just like body drop her like off the top rope, Ted DiBiase style, like bang, get up,
$1 million punch. So
hitting us with people's
so
elbow.
she, so she's like, "Bake up, bake up." You're like, "You know what? I could bake some, muffins right now. Good idea. Let's get the day started."
And then do you know what line comes next?
Oh yeah, you want a granola bar, don't you?
There you go, Dad. Can I get a granola bar? I'm like, "Yes, just get away from me for right now. I need to process for a second. I'm not a coffee type of person, so I'm not up in the morning ready to go, coffee up. No, I'm like, I sit on the edge of the bed, move my ankles, roll my neck, stretch my back. I'm taking a moment to get ready for the day. And it was kind of cute. One time, Quinn was like, "Oh, Daddy's got to get ready. His eyes aren't adjusted yet." Because I'm telling him, I'm like, "Look, man, I'm not quick to move. Mom's up. She's already making the bed. She's making her pot of coffee. She's getting ready. But for me, I'm like, look, no, nobody really talk to me right now. I gotta make some food. I made some eggs, some bacon. No, do we have bacon? No, I made some eggs. We got this cinnamon toast bread. It's amazing, man. If you don't have cinnamon toast, like raisin, like I don't even know what it is. It's a delectable. It's delicious. If you don't have that in your home, I require you guys to go and get it. Everyone that's listening, anyone that's watching, it's raisin bread. It's cinnamon swirl raisin bread. I think is what it is.
And if you work for the Cinnamon Swirl Razor Brand store, we will eat some while we broadcast. And
You
I
hear
don't
me?
eat bread.
I'll go ahead and dang, you word?
I will eat a burger and I will eat pizza, but that was one of my sacrifices of things I gave up of like food and stuff. Is like I don't eat sandwiches, don't eat toast. Like when it's again on an occasion or something, I stay away from it. Like I won't touch pancakes or waffles unless it's like
Oh,
the
you turn my
unless it's the dark chocolate Kodiak cakes. Again, that's another plug. but no,
we have a bundle of Kodiak. Kodiak is dope. High
Kodiak
protein.
cakes. You like those?
Yeah.
Oh, which ones do you like?
Well, I think it's just regular. So for us, it's the Kodiak protein.
So they got dark chocolate. They got the chocolate
Regular.
chip. they got the peanut butter, I think the original, and the peanut butter and the original, to quote Ross, they taste like feet. And then like the dark chocolate are amazing. Like that's I could eat those all day. And then the chocolate chip ones are good as well. But
So I think
again,
that separates us now because when I make my pancakes, I still, even with that Kodiak mix, pancake mix, I'm still doctoring it up and adding in vanilla, extract. I'm adding in, a little bit of honey to the mix, all those type of things to kind of give it that full flavor. Other
I
than
see.
that, you are absolutely right.
See, I save what I call it that. Not knocking it, but I call those empty calories, and I save all my empty calories for my couple glasses late at night, and that's part of my. It does. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just, it just if it until it's 5:30, if it's not like a protein or something, I won't touch it, and then 5:30 comes, and I will have a couple of drinks, and I will murder some food that's in front of me. I just
Question for you.
good.
Do you do the same thing for the children? Like, are you not
No,
having them have empty calories? Are you
nope,
allowing them to
nope,
eat? Are you, so
nope.
they're not sharing the same diet that you share?
The sins of the father are not the sins of the son. Like, I
Right.
mean, I just, my mom was amazing for the six. She had six kids, stay at home mom, and when Gail made a meal, she made a meal. Like we had a friend over one time, and the first time he was over, if you're listening, John Ball, that's you. He's like, "This is amazing. You got this, and you got that, and like he's like, this is like," and it's like for us, it was normal. Like Gail would have, she had six kids, and our house was never you eat what's served. Our house was always you eat what's on the table. Like I
Nice.
don't care what you pick from this spread, but this is what you're eating. And but my mom would always like cater to like, or not cater. I'd say she knows like Eddie doesn't like this, but Chris
Mhm.
doesn't like that. So like there was always choices to be made where you're getting full off this, and if not, tough shit. So
And
but for my kids, no, I just love to eat, and then I lost when I was. It was kind of like we didn't really eat out in restaurants, and though my dad was in the fast food industry, we would only eat like if we went to where he was working or something.
mhm.
And so when I turned 18, 19, and I started working and started making my own money, I'm like, yes, fast food time. And so I would just gorge,
Sure.
gorge, gorge, and it blew up and out of control, and I just wasn't eating healthy. And when I was 28, I had the cholesterol of an 80-year-old man, and so
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
then I
Time
just yeah, and then I had just some health issues and shit that I was like, and then one day I just kind of made a decision not to, but I'm not gonna. I make sure that my kids have their healthy stuff, but they can
mhm.
also. Today they asked for honey buns for breakfast, and I said sure, and then pick a fruit to go with it. And
There
then
you
like
go.
Sawyer was like, "I'm still hungry. Can I have?" Forgot what he asked for, and I said no because you just had honey bun. You need to eat something healthy. He's like, "Can I have some yogurt?" And I'm like, "Yep." So
Yep.
so there's yeses and nos for the junk that they eat, but no man, they're gonna be kids and eat whatever, not whatever, but like they can have fun stuff. Like they can have a Twinkie. I'm not gonna touch it, but they can have it. How about
I'm
you? Are you strict with food, or do you let it kind of rip with snacks? Or
a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I think I'm the one that makes all the food in the house. Katie does at some point when I'm like, okay, I can, or it's just she just really want to make she want to make a particular meal on one of her days off. Other than that, I'm making full on everything. And with that, I try to make sure that we have at least one green in the meal, and then whether it's a meat or something, but we're always gonna have one green, and I try to cut as many starches out as possible. So
okay,
when it comes to breakfast and things like that, I'm cooking a full on breakfast. So sometimes we're having either waffles or pancakes, and then we got the meats, bacon or sausage, and then we move into grits. I'm getting my children on grits early.
grits are
Quinn,
amazing.
they're amazing, baby, and especially if you know how to whip it in the pot. I know how to whip it. I whip it, man. I whip it. You know what I'm saying?
You throw cheese in there, or hot sauce, peppers, or
Well, so not necessarily hot sauce, but the cheese for sure.
okay.
Anybody listening, no, you do not put sugar in your grits. No, no, no.
Why reinvent the wheel?
I'm just saying, man.
Do
People
you
do it.
do you do it with milk or do you do it with water?
I do it with. Oh, see, now I'm giving away some tidbits.
Oh,
I do my grits with chicken broth.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so that's how you.
so for yeah. Go ahead. I cut you off.
No, you good. So we doing the grits. I'm getting the kids used to the grits early. Has something to stick to the bones, especially in the winter. So then that way that they're getting a hot meal, something really warm for them.
Okay.
And what else are we adding? Maybe a biscuit, maybe not, depending on if I had those pancakes or not.
Yeah.
Um, and then fruit, and then we try to stick with all fruit. So anything from bananas to watermelon, cantaloupe, all the fruits you can think of. We're in and out of that. Strawberries for sure.
So my daughter she's just when it comes to that, she's like, man, I got so many eye rolls at ECFE and other people that I know that just would look at me like how like why is your daughter that good of an eater? Because she like from like she regulated herself from the start. Like she's the kind of girl. Well, she's the kind of person I was raised with the sugar and the.
I'm sorry for you, bro. I don't know what to tell you, my guy. I love you, those guys. I love you.
So she would even like too. She would know. She would like. You can tell her to this day, Daddy, can I have a snack? And like I get to the point where I would play a prank on her, and I
Mm.
put like raspberries and strawberries and grapes, and I'd give it to her, and she'd be like, "Thank you so much." I do that to Sawyer, and he'd probably spill it out and ask for a new dad. Like it. So she's always been like she. We used to call. I used to call Jackie, and I used to refer to Jackie as if you or not Jackie, but Jackie and I used to say if you sat next to Lilly when she's 8 months old and barely holding her head up and in a boppo on the table with us because she sat on a boppo chair on the table and watched.
Love them, by the way.
Yeah, oh, lost you.
Oh
Good.
no,
We're good.
just like loving it.
Boppo. Yeah.
Yep.
You put Lil on the Boppo while we were eating dinner, and like she was like on the ropes like a boxer, but she's watching us eat, and
There you go.
okay. For those that aren't listening or watching, somebody just said that he eats grits both ways. So, anyways, she would watch us eat, and she picked up on it. Jackie would eat, and we'd try and give her baby food, and she'd spit the baby food out, and she would like grab her food. So if you sat next to Lily, you were like her prison bitch because she would just steal your food from you. So
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie Life? Or is she looking at you like you want no cornbread?
you ain't getting my cornbread because I'm from New York City. I got the full boat with the ladies doing the paddling. I actually Martin. I haven't watched anything with Martin in years. I actually watched Bad Boys 3 on the plane, and I'm like, so I drew the short straw on the plane where we had Sawyer and his two older cousins sat in a row, and I sat by myself, no one with me, just me, and then my brother-in-law and wife sat together, and then Jack sat with the two younger kids. So I sat next to two strangers. Darn it, I didn't do any parenting. And actually, the three kids were next to each other, but they had a bag of gummy worms and their iPads and the screen in front of them. So they're just like digging in the candy. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. You guys go nuts. Like, I'm watching a movie. I got a beer. I'm good. But so I watched Bad Boys 3 and I'm laughing my ass off at Martin. And I'm just like laughing. The guy's like looking at me and he looks and sees what I'm watching. He's like, yeah, okay. So have you seen Bad Boys 3 yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that line with Martin is so funny. If you haven't seen it, so Martin retires. I won't ruin the movie. He retires, but Mike Lowry drags him back into the game. Mike Lowry drives him back into the game for like one more time, and to do it, Martin has to drop off his grandbaby where his wife is getting a spa. So he does that, and of course, fast forward, and of course, a dead body, and he takes his wife's car. Dead body falls on top of the car, and all Martin does is look and says, "She knows. She always knows." Like that. Like it's like no shit. They always know.
They always know, my guy. Always.
How the hell did we get here? We were talking about food.
There we go. Yep, food. Yep.
So when you sit down for like dinner time, And so is Katie normally home for dinner time, or what's her shifts like?
Yes, yep. So she keeps the same shift all the way around. That does not change for her. Um, but I make sure that at least she has time to shower, chill, and kind of like have 45 minutes or however long to herself. And sometimes not. Sometimes she's ready to just kind of get to eating with us. But yeah, she makes every meal,
So
makes it to every meal, and Margo is like that. So Margo is like, I'm ready to eat. Put whatever in front of me. We smashing.
she's
Quinn,
one, so she's Cookie Monster, right?
yeah, that part. She's very much so. She's starting to use her forks and spoons now, and she's getting pretty good at it. Right? She's closer to two than she's
Oh,
closer to one type of deal.
she's got two older ones that mimic, and
Yep,
okay.
that part. But now when it comes to Quinn, she's not a eater really, unless it's something that she really really likes, or I've like knowed her all day today, so she's hungry, right? And she's ready to eat. But she's been known to fool me, right? We'll give her a full plate of food, and then she'll nibble on two or three things, and then be kind of done because she didn't drink. We have flavored water in our household. We so like Crystal Light. We have that kind of deal in our deal. So she'll be known to drink all of that because that's their pop or their juice for the day. So she'll murder a glass of that and be full. Now I recall that as a child. I would go out to eat with my parents, or even when I was at home, I'm drinking 2, 3 glasses before I even finish the meal or even get my meal. So now
So you
I'm
get full.
stuffed.
You're full. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stuffed, right?
Right.
And Quinn is that same way. So I get really mad because I'm like, this is dinner because I know what's going to happen in 45 minutes. She's going to come to me and go, Dad, I'm hungry. Mom, I'm hungry. And we're looking at you like, I'm not about to make you any more food. So what's your plans? What are you going to do? Guess what the next phrase is? Can I have
Granola bar.
more? Exactly. Yep. Yep.
You, you just gotta put like your chef outfit and just like flip granola bars on the grill.
But if I cook something dope, man, and I put
You want chocolate chip or peanut butter? French
that's
vanilla,
it.
Rocky Road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough, right?
This is all you
Like,
get, guy.
so are you like kids are eating dinner?
Mhm.
We are sitting down. We are as a family, and we are eating dinner. Or are kids allowed to like fidget around, or they go eat on themselves? The TV on? Are they allowed devices? Or like, no, shut your ass up, sit down. We're talking. Have
This
dinner.
is family time. This is family
Okay.
time. I didn't have it a lot when I was a child. I think Katie had it a bit when she was growing up. So for me, I'm it. That's it. There's probably once a month we'll leave the TV on because they were watching it while I was cooking and I needed them to be distracted. Uh,
Occasions are occasions. Yeah.
occasions, but so we'll leave it on. But even then, those are some of the nights I'm like, all right, turn the TV off. Dinner's ready. Hazel and Quinn are setting the table. They're going to placemats out, the silverware, all that kind of stuff that they can get as I bring the hot food over. And then we serve everybody up and then we're eating. But other than that, we're talking to each other. We're communicating. We're talking about our days. Even if I've been with them all day, mom hasn't. So we're asking, how was your day? What was a plus? What was a bad? What was a negative?
We used to do high lows. What was
Yeah.
your high today? What was your low day? And son of a bitch, if you wouldn't believe it, but Lilly and Sawyer found a way to make that a fight.
How? It's not even about you anymore.
High low. Well, Sawyer would flood the floor. My high was that, and then it was like this. It was like 18 things. It was like, well, it, it,
Yep.
you smiled, but it was at the high. Like it's high, low, the highest, not the low. So then it would go over the Lilly, and then sort of be like, it's taking forever. And then they would fight over who got to go first, and then it just. I'm like, y'all, you ruined it. You why? Why?
Wow. And you know what? We're getting there now. I'm afraid to see what preteen and teenage Hazel and Quinn look like because although they love each other extremely, they get tired of each other quickly and then they back loving each other. So it's like Hazel almost can't even go to the bathroom by herself without Quinn like going bananas or wanting to be with her or having like Hazel wants to play with. I need Hazel to play with me. And I'm like, dude, she's been playing with you all day. Give her a break right now. Like, let her just be. Let her play with her toys and her dolls by herself. You go do something. Play with your other sister. Go out. So I'm afraid this is what their dynamic is going to be when they get older. I hope it's still amazing. That's one thing I put inside of them daily. Like I'm like, here, it's you three. This is it. You all you got. Like at the end of the day, I will not be here no more at one point. So it's just gonna literally be you two, you three. You really need to figure it out and y'all really need to work together all times. You know what I'm saying?
I felt like I was training a puppy today with compliments for them because I was working out and Jackie she's worked from home yesterday, so she had an important call that she needed to be on, couldn't be distracted, and we were playing a game at the table, or talking at the table, and she said, "You guys are doing really good, but I need you guys to be quieter." And I said, "All right, guys, we're all going in the basement, and we'll whatever we're doing right here, we'll just go down there and do it." And so Sawyer was playing with his cars, and he pulled out this racetrack that it's a Hot Wheels thing. You can build a track and do different.
A flashback. Sorry. Oh man. Hot Wheels racetracks. Oh geez, flashbacks.
You need to have a fourth kid and have a boy and get him a Hot Wheels.
Oh, geez.
But
we've been fighting. I didn't see people get beat up with Hot Wheels racetracks. Oh, flashback. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. To all my bad kids, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, everybody been smacked once or twice with a Hot Wheels racetrack. At least in my people's have.
We didn't have many. I don't remember having big Hot Wheels at our house, but
maybe that's the reason why you don't know about it.
Maybe that's the reason why I love building tracks so much with my son.
There you go.
Now it got to the point now, like a year ago, I said, "Do you want to build Hot Wheels, dude?" He's like, "No." I was like, that's so kindergarten. I'm like, "You're so kindergarten." Anyway, yeah. Well, actually, Santa got him this big Gorilla Garage a couple of years ago, and now he wants to sell it, and I'm like, "No, why?" Like, there's so many like, what's that?
I said we still have memories. We got
right. We have more memories to make. Like, but he wants to sell it, so he's kind of gotten off cars. But he started building this track, and he asked me one question, and I was helping Lil with something, and I just said, "Hey, why don't you try to do it yourself? But if you need help, if you fail, I'll give you a tip. But why don't you do it yourself?" And like I spent a lot of time, a lot of meltdowns with him building these tracks, and so he did it. And then Lily goes, "I want to try too." And she goes over, and I'm like, "Okay, well, you should share." But at the same point, he's independently playing, and he really wants to build this right now. And Sawyer, he kind of snapped at her, and I said, "Sawyer, you don't need to snap at her, but just ask her nicely and say, you know what, Lil, I kind of want to do this by myself." Mm-hmm. And then Lily's like, and she starts raising a stink, and I said, "Lil, you were over here playing happy, and he went and found something. And he wants to build it himself. Let him build it himself. And you can ask, can I help, or can I play with you?" And this is where I plant the seed in Sawyer's head. I said, "I bet you as soon as he's done building it, he will let you race with him. But right now, he just wants to build it himself." And Sawyer's like, "Yeah, just let me build it myself, and we'll play." And Lily's like, "Okay." So they did that. Anyways, today they were playing with it, and they built it. He built it yesterday, and they raced on it. They took it down today, put it away, and then today they were working together with it, and they were playing. I was working out, so I said, "You guys are doing so good." And I was like, "Isn't it awesome when you guys are on the same team and having fun?" And like, "Oh, Lily, way to help your brother." And ooh, sorry, it's a nice way to like. I'm like, it feels like they're 1-3, but I was like, I'm trying to push it in their head, like, you see how you're succeeding? And then I go upstairs for 2 minutes, and then Sawyer comes up with a problem, and he says, "Lily hurt my feelings." I said, "How did Lily hurt your feelings?" And he goes, "Well, I was saying something really close there," and I said, "That," and then I spit accidentally, and it hit her in the face, and she goes, "Oh, Sawyer, you just spit on me," and she yelled at me, and she was upset. And so my feelings were hurt, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "All right, dude." But it's like, I mean, so you need to tell her. Why don't you go tell her, look, like first apologize and say, no, I didn't mean to. And I said, I do it all the time. I'm guilty of catching my spit in the air and apologizing for it. I get excited, I talk, shit happens. And
That part.
yeah. And so I just go tell her that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. And that, but the way you snapped at me, it hurt my feelings. And I'm sure that you guys would be all right. And then so he goes trampling down the stairs, and I'm like, okay, this is Tyson Holyfield 75, or I got another 5 minutes of peace.
No, you know what? What I love is that we actually have very close, similar styles in parenting when it comes to getting both children to play properly, right? The thing that I love best is what you were saying. This is what I say as well. Have you even talked to or said anything to your sister about wanting to help? Because while we don't have Lego tracks, Hot Wheel tracks, we have Legos. And we went from Duplos, which we still have because Margo enjoys them. But now we're moving to like professional Legos. Like either they're really tall, really small, tiny ones, or the regular size ones, right? So it allows her to so Hazel's into building like little cities and villages and little shops and stuff with Legos. You can either buy the set or create them on her own. She's not to the level where she can create by herself, but she's to the level where she's getting these cities and she's building the cities. So what's so cool about it is that she fully indulges in it. When she's ready to play with Legos, she goes in hard in the paint with playing with Legos. Quinn wants to do the same thing. The thing is that Quinn's not really to the level of playing with the really small ones yet, but she wants to be with her sister. The thing is, I'm like, have you talked to your sister about playing with her? Like, have you asked? Because like she's like, no, she hurt my feelings. She said that I can't play and I don't know how to use them. I go, well, you really don't. Like, have you asked her to show you at all? No. Okay, well, why don't you start using those kind of words? Hazel, can you show me? And then Hazel's kind of like, damn, doc, I want to kind of do this by myself. So then that's when I implement the exact same thing. How about this? Let Hazel complete the Lego city, and then you guys can play with them together with your LOL dolls. Works out perfectly.
Well, it's very. We're gonna go into the view a little bit here, but it's very. It's not what you said; it's how you said it.
Man, that is how we work our look.
We went fishing today, and I'm just like, I get it. Like on the boat, he's like snapping at Lily about listening. It's like, I get it. She's not there where you are, but like you can't. Why? Why talk to him like that? And it's the same thing. Look, why do you need to be mean about it? Like just be polite, and then you're good. Like, and if they're sad about it, then I'm like, tough. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that he doesn't want to play with you right now, and he wants to do that. He is entitled to that. But you don't need to yell at him. And when they now this summer, that's my life's good and things are easy, but I still deal with like the bickering battery, and there's some things I just don't need to know. Like, Sawyer did this. Why are you telling me? What do you want?
Telling me?
What do you want me to do about this? Do you want me to go change his mind for him? Like, figure it out, solve the problem.
I think it's the summer, man. I think it's really the kids in the summer because Hazel and Quinn right now they go at it, man. They butt heads so much and they talk so nasty to each other. Like Quinn is telling her, "You don't love me. You hate me." I'm like, where are you getting this language from? And why do you feel like she hates you? She's been playing with you for the last 2 hours.
Right. That's where Lo goes hot or cold, and I gotta check myself about being a smart ass because like she'll just fine, I guess you don't love me and you don't ever want to play with me and you don't want to do this. And I said, and that is exactly why I was playing with your Barbie house for 45 minutes today, because I don't love you. Like, I was doing that for me. Like, I'm like Buffalo Bill over here.
That was all just for me, god darn it.
Right. Goodbye horses.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because Quinn plays that role with Katie. You know, like Katie needs a second, and Quinn's quick to be like, "You don't like me. You just really mad at me all the time." I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes first of all. I've been trying to talk to. I'll be looking at me. Hey, look, you're not about to talk to my girl like that. I don't know who you think you are, what this is, but that's my lady right here. You ain't about to be talking to her like that. Secondly, this your mama. You can't talk to your mama like that again. So we
So,
need to check yourself, player.
so are Quinn and Katie like spiritual animals? Are they the same then? And
I think
that's
that's it.
yeah.
So Katie says she remembers a lot, like Quinn doing a lot of the things that she did when she was a child. Like Quinn is almost spitting what she says. This is what she states. Like Quinn is almost a spitting image of, what I'm saying, her temperament when she was a child. Because Hazel's like mine. I can kind of start raising my voice and I can see the tears starting to well up. And you know what I'm saying? She kind of dipping into her shoulders a bit. Cause I was the same way. Like I didn't get a lot of whoopings at all. I did for some stuff because I was bad still. But my mom could just raise her voice at me and yell at me, and I was in tears. Like, I'm sorry, mama, I didn't mean to do it. Like, I was in that kind of mode. And Quinn, Hazel's the kind of the same way. And Quinn gets there after a while. Like, if I get Quinn there just by speaking to her, then I know I'm really going at it. And I gotta calm myself down. I gotta stop a bit. And I gotta, what I'm saying, bring it back, rewind, bring it back, and then love on her and then tell her the reason why I was acting that way.
Do you ever apologize to your children for your behavior?
Good question, man. I absolutely do.
Okay.
There's been times that I was out of hand, and there's things that I shouldn't have done, and I have to apologize for that. But I don't. Excuse me. I don't take away my actions. Like so, if I reprimand them, or if I give them time out, or if I take something from them, I'm not apologizing for me doing that part, but I'm apologizing for my like how I acted. I because I don't want them to be the same way. Like I don't want them to like if you're getting angry to start yelling or throw things because that's not what we do. So I have to apologize if I've done that. Then yeah, I'm like, look, Daddy wasn't right for doing that. I am sorry, but here's why I did it. You know. So yeah.
Yeah, I've talked with a couple of people, and like I said, you ever like apologize to your kids for yelling or for reacting a certain way, or do you ever like go to bed at night and like God, I wish I could have done that different? And a couple people are like, no, I don't. Like I'm the parent, and I was frustrated, and I don't go to bed thinking about it, like it's done, it's over with. I said this, and they just behaved, so I reacted this way, and I'm like, I respect that. Those are your kids, right? I'm not, but for me, I try to teach my kids like to own it. Like if you mess up, you make a mistake, you write it, and you own it. Then if you did somebody wrong, or if you're out of line, you need to look them in the eye and apologize. Like I shouldn't have done that or whatever. And so it's like I call it like the full house conversation with my kids, like little Danny Tanner walking in. Like I will, um, if I raise my voice when or whatever, if I'm short tempered and whatever, like you said, I don't apologize for what the discipline was or whatever, but I would say this is why I should not yell, and I'm wrong for yelling because I don't want yelling in my house at all. And I
Agreed.
understand. Well, I understand that the four of us, including the dog and one of the cats, we all yell. So it's like I don't want it, and I hate that I do it, and I'd be a hypocrite if I say don't ever yell because I guilty as well. And I will sit down and I will say, hey, I apologize for yelling and screaming at you like that. I shouldn't have done that, but I had asked you, I asked you 2 times to not do that nicely, and you didn't do it. And then I warned you, and then I had to come over and whatever I had to do, and you still didn't do it. And it's like we don't do corporal punishment, and if you do corporal punishment, that's your kid. It's I don't judge whatever you think is best for your kids as long as your intentions are good and everything's cool. I don't care.
Big
Like
facts. Big facts.
right, but I don't want to spank my kids, and I don't want him with the belt. I got the belt as a kid, and I'm not criticizing my parents for it. I'm just saying
Right.
I don't. My wife and I, one thing we said is we don't. I mean, unless it's like to physically stop something, I don't want it.
And
And
there's really no point in it now. You know what I'm saying? When I look back at it, the few times that I've done it, or even look to the reasoning, Katie's spoken to me about it a couple times, and it's just really it doesn't make sense, right? Like you don't hit someone or punish them that way, especially if they don't understand it, right?
My thing is, um how am I supposed to tell my kids not to solve a problem with hitting?
There you go. That
And
part.
I understand that I'm the adult and they're the child and all that stuff. And again, if you believe that your kid should get 3 lashes for this, then that's the way you raise your kid. You raise your kid that way. I'll raise my kid that way, and we can still have a beer and be cool with each other because I don't judge. I'm just saying, like, for me, as it goes, like I would be laying in bed sometimes and think, oh, wish I didn't yell, or I wish I would have just give it, a couple more minutes before I blew up because I
Right.
just don't. Yeah.
So for me, I like to sometimes be the hot stove, right? So it's kind of like if they do something and I've told them twice not to do it, and they do it one more time or they wasn't paying attention, I don't necessarily whoop them. I thump them. I get a one good thump, just bah. So then you remember it, right? And then
Right.
they know. And I don't want to get too excessive with it, right? Because then they flinching every time they do something. But it's kind of like the hot stove warning, like, all right, well, I don't want that again, so I'm not going to do it because I remember that thump was a ordeal.
I
Um,
I a couple years ago. This is how I play, or used to play, or try not to play. However, this is how I roll. Is I think Sawyer was 4, Lil was 2, and he's just being a little shit. And he was very bedtime. He wouldn't do anything, have anything to do with me. It had to be Jack. And like if I did anything, he would just throw a fit and a meltdown, and just, he didn't have to listen to me. That was in his mind. And it was like a battle every single night. And I'm like, game on, let's play.
mhm.
And Jack's like, I worked 8 hours. I don't. It's just. And then so her and I had a discussion where it was like, okay, well, we know what the game plan is going in before we do it, whatever it's going to be. Like we're
That
going
part.
to
Yep, that
we're gonna
part.
we're gonna address it tonight, and we're gonna dance around it. I'm not saying like he's gonna get his way. He doesn't know what's about to happen tonight, so we know how he's going to be. We're gonna make it a peaceful night, one way or the other, or we're going to engage tonight. And so one night he was being just a little shit to me. Wouldn't listen, completely obnoxious, just temper tantrums, disrespectful. And then I even said, like, you don't get to go to mom with that shit. Like, no, like this is what I said. You're doing that. And it's something minuscule.
Mhm.
And he just was not listening, melting down. And like he went and did something with Lil, and Jack calmed him down. And so I walked over to him. They're both in Lil's room, and I said, "Sawyer, can I have a hug?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Lil, can I have a hug?" She comes running to my arms. I said, "Sawyer, you sure you don't want a hug?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Okay, fine." And Jackie's like, "What?" And I was boiling. It was a long day. I was so tired. And I go to Holiday, and we grab a big Hershey's
Oh
cookies
man.
and cream chocolate bar. This is my my favorite. And oh man, I remember driving like this is gonna be epic, or this is gonna be like uh, I'm gonna get some shit for this one. So I grab this candy bar, and I get back home. I go up in the room, and they're all in Jackie, Sawyer, and Lil, all in Lil's room. I get down on my hands and knees. I go, "Sawyer, can I have a hug?" No. I said, "Dude, I really want a hug. Will you come over here real quick?" And he goes, "No." I go, "I want you to come over here." He said, "No." I go, "Look, can Dad have a hug?" He comes over, and I say, "Take your nook out of your mouth because I want to share my candy bar with you."
Oh man.
Sawyer comes running, and I said, "I'm not sharing with you. You
I'm
don't want
not
anything."
sharing with you, player.
Oh man, there was steam from Jack's ears. Like she was like, "You can't be doing that. He's
And
4." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm 35 eating a candy bar because I can do that."
in that same respect, my friend, I do the exact same thing because not necessarily to that extent, but what I do is if I want candy after dinner or whenever I choose to, or some kind of dessert or something, you know what I'm saying? Just my own little, I'm going to eat it, whether it's in front of them, behind their back, whatever. I don't care. And she was like, "You can't do that because they're gonna want." I'm like, I tell them no. Simple as that. Well, Dad, can I have? Nope. Nah, this is daddy's. I'm sorry, cuz you can't have none of it. But then when it comes to Katie, nah, as soon as she takes something out, they on her like mine, 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 like over all over her for a piece of whatever and she can't say no. She's sharing with them.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I don't know what you're doing over there, young lady, but they getting a no from me, and they just gonna have to watch me eat it. I'm sorry. This is just if they feel like it's torture, don't look at me. Like, I keep it that real with them. As simple as that. But that what you did, my friend, was a
Dirty. It was
boss
dirty.
dad move right there.
Was that? It was what?
I said that was a boss dad move right there.
Oh man, Jack was not happy about
Oh
that
no,
one.
no, no, yeah.
I
Nope.
was like, what? He misbehaving. He wasn't listening to me, and I asked him like, hey, come here. Why don't you come here? You're not gonna listen to me? I'm gonna eat my candy bar. More for me, more for Lil. I think I even took a bite and like offered it up to Jack, and she's
Yeah, the missus ain't gonna like that. I think I might have had something like that not too long. In my in development years of the children, I might have had a moment or two just like that as well, and I owned every bit of it, and I was okay.
yeah, yeah. So I do have a question for you. When they ask you, Jesus, we're approaching an hour here, but so I saw this morning. It was a story of a dad. I think he was recently divorced, and so he was a single dad, and he had a daughter in kindergarten. And there's a kid in the class that was a boy in the class that was bullying her, teasing her about things. If I get the story not completely accurate, I'm sorry. I just kind of glanced over it. Anyways, he was bullying her, and even mentioned her about her mom leaving her and shit like that. So he was bullying her, and he was bullying like all the other kids in the class. And it was brought up to the teacher, and his behavior didn't change. So he was just being a bully to all these kids. Of course, this is coming from one side of the story, so I don't know the other side. So when it came time for this kid's birthday party, the dad asked who she wanted to invite. She said everybody in the class but that kid. So the dad invited everybody in the class but that kid.
Mm.
And the kid knew about it because the girls handed out invitations. And
invitations, and he ain't get an invitation in school. Oh,
right. Yeah, that's the old you're not going to my birthday party, and you're the only one not going to my birthday party.
man.
And so then so the mom of that boy to address the dad in the parking lot and had it out with him, and she said that you should teach your daughter it'd be a good way to teach your daughter some compassion. And so it's like, okay, so where do you lie on that? Like tough shit, or do you think, you know what? Yeah, let's be the bigger person and give this kid another chance. I mean, oh, by the way, the party was like the last week of school, so it's like he had all year to kind of figure shit out. So where do you lie on that? Does a kid come? Does a one kid get excluded, or does he make his bed and sleep in it? Does he get another chance? Or
To be honest with you, man, here's how I'm gonna have to look at it, right? If the conversation was had with the parents all year long and the mother didn't address it at all throughout the whole year, and this little kid kept doing exactly what he was doing the whole year, you will not get an invitation to this party. And how dare you come to me about teaching my child about Look here, you do not want this shit to go down in this parking lot like this right now, miss. Karen, walk away right now before this. You don't want these problems.
before we go back to kindergarten, go to the trees.
You hear me? Like meet me over there right now. But like the parent in me, the good side would be like, yes, that is a perfect example of you showing compassion and showing grace. Compassion and grace to me are two different things. You inviting this guy or this not guy, but this child to the party, even after him being a bully, the way that he has been, the things that he probably has saying, which were probably extremely cruel and mean to this little child. And yeah, you can invite him over because this is going to show you that, not to say that I'm better than you, but it shows that I have a heart, and I'm going to show you, although you've been bad to me, what good people look like, right? Because that's an overall. That's even down to the parent. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's really going to come down to the parenting. If this has been a year-long thing, and it has been addressed to both the parents
in
and
kindergarten. Yeah.
in kindergarten, and there was still an issue by the end of the year, and this little child has not corrected themselves, then that's a whole parenting thing. And yes, I do not need you nor your child in my house because I don't like this energy. So yeah, I personally would not have invited. Like, yes, no, you're not coming because how you're acting to me right now, like you no, you're not coming.
Well,
Sorry,
for me, it's my kid doesn't want a kid at their birthday party. Like now, I get like in families and such that a certain cousin might not particularly like another cousin, and I'd be like, tough shit. You know, it's a birthday party. Get
gotta come.
along. Right,
Right.
they're coming. Like just hi, bye. You don't need to associate. Hey, there's my daughter's cat making a
Oh,
cameo.
well, no, your parents something. Yeah, he was playing on.
A black cat crossing the screen. Is that like a bad curse for us?
That's gonna be a good omen for us. We're gonna bring good energy in for that one.
Yeah, but like no, but so like if my daughter says I don't want Jason coming to my birthday, but like if you were a friend, I don't want you, then no, you're not gonna come. And
Coming.
like,
Be all
and
right.
if I'm the parent of the other kid, I'm like, well, you know what? There were some issues you had about being mean to other people, and you weren't being nice. And when you act like that, people don't want to be around. I tell it to my kids all the time. When you Sawyer doesn't want to do this, they're like, that's because earlier today you punched him for no reason,
There
and
you go.
you were screaming like crazy. And why would he want to? Like, you need to be you need to be nice to her at 9 a.m. if you want her to go play with your cars at 10 a.m. Like, so I don't. I get the other side because I mean, the thing is, the X factor is you don't know what the parents of the bully are dealing with at home. So maybe they're trying and whatever, and they felt their kids excluded. But
That
anyways,
don't have nothing to do with me. I don't
there you go. There you go.
you. That's not that's me inviting. Look, no. I taught this to grown-ups, and I'm teaching it to my children. Protect your peace. That little kid's not gonna change when he comes to that birthday party. Now he's gonna be at your celebration and being
Right.
rude to you. And then on top of it, I'm gonna take it to the next level. These parents are petty as hell as well. So she's gonna be in your house trying to look around, see what she can see, so she can be petty and talk shit. That's what it is.
There
Nah,
you go.
you can't come, cuz. Sorry.
Well, your problem is not my problem.
That part. So figure that out. Look, here's my thing. The reason why they probably got issues with their children is because they're not giving them to their children attention. So low key, if the kid would have got invited, she wouldn't have stayed to the party. She'd have just dropped them and bounced. You feel me? That's how I feel it. That's a bold statement from me, but that's what I feel.
No, I
All
mean,
the parties,
so some parties they'll say to drop off your kids though. I mean,
I'm not going, bro. I'm there. This past year will be the first party that I dropped Hazel off at, and I did not stay. And it was she was a couple blocks away from the crib. And the only reason why I did it is because I showed up at the time when most of the parents were there, and they all was bouncing too. So I'd have felt kind of like, ah. But normally I'm there. I'm not going, bro. I got little girls. This world is different, and it may not have been. I don't know if it's different, but I ain't with it. I ain't with none of the smoke. She allergic to peanuts. Everybody know that because there's a bunch of kids allergic to peanuts. Peanuts, like all, like, you know what I'm saying, tree nuts and stuff. Um, but I don't want nothing to go crazy, and I need these parents to see her daddy. Like, bruh, you mess up, there's gonna be issues. You don't want this 6'3", 380 in your front door. You feel me? Like, so I need these parents to see who the daddy is. You dig?
oh no, I hear you.
But yeah, no. I would say out of all the parties that she's been to, even this year, there's only been one party that I was not there. Either it was Katie or myself.
Well,
Excuse me, or myself.
it is. You're right. You don't know people. Like the world is a crazy place, and you don't know parents for their kids really. And for us, you and me, we're not in the the majority of the circle of stay-at-home parents who get to know each other and go out for coffee
That part.
let's go to McDonald's, get the coffee, let the kids play in the play place in January. Like we're not in that club, so we don't like get to really know people. But it is funny because the wives or the spouses, the females, were always kind of standoffish towards me. Some out of ignorance and some just like not knowing how to deal with it. But like it was harder because if I'm going to drop my kids off at your place and I don't know you, like in preschool, like Lil, I'll drop my daughter off at your house and I don't know you like at all. I mean, it is kind of like it's an interesting it was it was an interesting process. But I think as
Sure.
a dad though, it's almost safer because the mom's dealing with you. You know what I mean? And
Sure. Sure.
they're reaching out. They are actually reaching out to you, and I don't know for some reason there's pros and cons to everything, and
So
so
kind of funny, right? Not Katie, but Hazel was trying to set up and she still is, and I'm gonna make it happen. She's trying to set up a play date with one of her friends uh, for this summer to do a play date. And she got the number from her mother, from the other child's mother before the end of the year. So now we have their number. But I'm not, I don't know why it is, but I don't feel comfortable reaching out to the parent to set that up. So I'm like, Katie, just do that. And then, you know what I'm saying? You let me know the date and then we'll show up. I'm to that point. I don't know why it is or why I feel that type of way. And that's an insecurity of myself. That's something I have to look at and figure out what that deal is.
it's man, I was so damn stubborn my first year or two, where I just didn't do it, and then finally I was like, I need to be me. Like I'm social, and
That
I need to talk to people. Like I can no, and like if I don't care. I don't care what you look like, how old you are, if you're a boy, if you're a girl, like I don't care if you're a Vikings fan. Like if our kids are playing together at the park, I'm gonna say, "Hey, how you doing?" And like
that part.
the the amount of people that like good and like ignore you, it's like okay.
Yeah.
And so, but like I learned, like I said, I learned was before Sawyer didn't get it exposed enough to other kids, and that was a lot of that's on me for not reaching out. So what I learned, and by the time it came to Lil, I wasn't afraid to kind of engage conversation, and I really want to introduce myself as, "Hi, I'm Chris. I'm happily married. I'm a stay-at-home dad. Our kids like to play. Can they play outside of school?" Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
for real.
the funny thing is, I probably had 4 or 5 women, friends or neighbors, who have said like, "Oh, it's interesting because it's like I know you now, and it's like you're Chris. Like it's you're Chris. Like there's no like weirdness or whatever about you being a guy. You're just Chris. Like that's just how you are." And my wife she knows how I am too. Like I'll talk to anybody.
As
And
long as they pay attention, I'm talking.
no, I still go sometimes. I'm the 4th child out of 6. I don't give a shit.
I don't care. Even if you're not listening, I'm going in.
Oh, gee, just like this podcast. If nobody's listening, doesn't mean we ain't gonna talk.
That part. Exactly. No, exactly. Hey, I do have a question, man. And this is more so not geared towards the children, but it's just geared toward us. How do you and Jack find adult time together? You know what I'm saying? Like not just because I know you find your own alone time by, you know what I'm saying, getting that hour in the sweat, hitting the field with your homies and doing softball, that kind of stuff. But how do you and Jack find personal time?
We get probably 2 or 3 nights a year where we dump them off at my parents' house overnight, and we tried like I mean, there's special occasions and stuff we try to do, but we find that where we live, we are like a mile away from the downtown in our city. So there's a bunch of bars and restaurants and stuff. So we like to go do that and just walk and come back and relax. And then we have a babysitter for friends of ours. That she lives down the street, and she we moved in when we moved in 6-7 years ago. She was, I think, 12, and someone at ECFE said, oh, get a mommy helper and blah, blah. I'm like, what's a mommy helper? And it's like, you pay a kid in the neighborhood to come play with your kid in your house or whatever, and you clean the house. And I'm like, sorry, my daughter's
They have those?
right. And I'm like, so now I got to ask a 12-year-old girl to come into my house?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
No, but I know the parents and we're friends, and so there was and they were like volunteers. So there was no like this weird guy like you. What do you mean you want my daughter to come to your house? You got the 2 kids there, and you're there. But anyways, so she would come over and I pay her like $5 for an hour, and she'd play with Sawyer, and then like I time it. So I was like, yeah, be here at like 9:30. So Lily's napping. You play with Sawyer. I'm gonna do some laundry, vacuum or whatever. And so she's just sorry, my cat's going nuts. Ugh, stop it, Prince. Prince is gonna hang out. Yeah, he's gonna party like it's 1999 tonight. So, anyways, so she evolved to be the babysitter. The funny thing was, like a year or 2 later, Sawyer got this massive crush on her. I think he was 3, and like she'd be walking to school, and one time he went running out to her, and she got down on her hands and knees. She goes, Sawyer, and he literally sprinting, got right in the middle of the yard, and just fell down and couldn't go to her. Oh. And then the other funny one he did was she's walking to school one day, and he opens up the screen door and just looks at her and just goes, Kate. A boy's in love.
Well, man, it's a homegrown love right there.
So how do we find time is we just kind of we kind of know when it's like, hey, we need to go do something. We're going to a concert in I think October, and we don't get many of them, but we probably 4 or 5 days. We should probably do more, but like, and I've talked to a couple people like, you guys only get like 4 or 5 a night, and it's like, well, I'm with my kids all day, and Jack gets home, and she wants to be with the kids, and she's the homebody. So she gets home, I'm like, let's go do something, and she's like, let's go sit down, like, and just kind of chill. And so we were supposed to do a trip last year, but COVID ruined that, so we're still kind of working on that. But how about you guys? Do you guys do lots of date nights or?
No, man, and that's the reason why I was asking is because I'm trying to improve that and find ways to, indulge in us more than just being parents. Because we find it hard to connect like that. So I have a fear of, just like I said again, the world is strange now, or stranger it seems to be now, and I just want to make sure I get the right people around my children. So it ain't even a fact of if they're gonna do something wrong to them, but it's also like the things that they do around them. So it's like they don't know who's watching. Like my children are very impressionable. So I don't want you saying or doing anything around my children that's gonna, have them do the exact same thing later. And that's not what the rules are in our household. But then again, I guess that's just a conversation that I will have to have with them prior.
Well, I mean, the tough thing about that is, and I totally understand it, is like, I had a hard time sending Sawyer to kindergarten because it's the loss of his innocence. Like, he was in preschool 2 days a week, and he was home with me. He was never in daycare. And I'm not knocking any of the kids in daycare or saying whatever, but like,
daycare's awesome, by the way.
What's that?
Daycare is awesome, by the way.
Awesome, cool. Like, but he's such an innocent kid, and like, he was so far behind the social aspect of it. So what I will say to you is, Hazel's the oldest in her class. She's in 2nd grade. She's probably got a 3rd grade, whatever she's going to 3rd grade.
Yep, going in the 3rd.
There are kids in her class that have high school siblings who have watched like Predator and who have said words that we don't say.
True.
And so it's like, they've like, Pandora's box has almost been opened, and so it's. And the thing, what we didn't do enough date nights, and and honestly, part of it was we didn't have the help. Um, it was sun up to sundown. It was me. There was no Wednesdays they go to grandma's, or Tuesday auntie. It was me, and so it's like they were used to just me and just Jack, and so they weren't gone enough for it. And even when we got a babysitter, Jack was the first night we did it with that wasn't family. When the sitter came over and we just walked to the restaurant, it was 45 minutes into it, and Jackie's getting anxiety. She's like, they've never been home alone with anyone. I think Sawyer was 5 and Lilly was 3, and it's like they're fine. I'm like, they're fine. She's got our number, and her mom lives down the street. If there's an issue, then they'll figure it out. But she was just concept of, and it was nothing. It was nothing against the sitter. It was just the concept of she's not in control of the situation. That was one of the things that she loved about me being home with the kids, is she's like, I know that I can be in the meeting when the kid is sick, but you're there, so there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah. So, Katie echoes the same sentiment as Jack. So I think me more than her, or even probably just the both of us, have that same kind of nervous feeling. I have a homeboy, Ronnie. Shout out to my homeboy Ronnie. His daughter Amina, she's 16, and she's just a very extremely smart individual, and I wouldn't mind having her around. So she even offered. So I'm gonna have to take her up on it before the summer's up. But it's just, man, it just kind of just weirds me out just to have someone that I don't know and quite don't trust yet around my children. But once again, not even once again, to speak on it even more so, Hazel feels like a very old soul. She's a lot smarter than I give her, right? She catches on to things, she understands things a lot faster, and she tries to manipulate. But I'm a step ahead of her just because I have, what I'm saying, age on her. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't care how smart you are. I got experience.
That's what I mean. Yep.
I might have a hard time accepting where you're at, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna beat the maze before me.
There you go. There you go. But I really do want that. So I think within the next couple months to weeks to months, we're gonna give it a shot, because it is important for us to still be a couple instead of being parents. We're dope parents because we do it so much and we do it well, and we are, what I'm saying,
right,
a really good ecosystem for our family, but we also just still need to tend to that relationship.
It is important date, but I mean, and I think, of course, Jack and I would love to do that more, but at the same point, our lives are, I mean, she has her career, but our lives are our kids. And that being said, we are blessed and fortunate enough that we go up to the lake home 3 or 4 times a year, and we go to Florida 2 or 3 times a year, and there's plenty of time to relax there. We haven't taken a trip together, just her and I, since our honeymoon, which is 11 years ago. And so
Wow.
we've gone to Vegas twice, but there are people with us, which is fine and it's fun, but it's not the one-on-one. And that's why we had something planned, but then COVID ruined that.
This was right before Margo was born. And was she born? No, yeah, she wasn't born. I think this is probably where she was coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably about 9 months before she was born.
We're
trying to get our trip planned. We had three choices for that trip we had planned. We have to eat the money, double down and bring the kids, or find a sitter. And so I joke with my dad trying to get them to watch the kids. I'm like, hey, tell mom if she wants another grandkid.
Yeah. Yes. Go for it.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, we went to Boston. We went in March, which was a crazy part. It was a couple of years ago. It was about 3 years ago. So I think it was right around that time where we're trying to figure out. Now you make me think about it. Kitty's gonna listen to this and tell me if that was it. But I think that was around the time where Margo might have been, conceived, or at least known that she was a possibility. But her and I, we went to Boston, and man, I must say it was amazing. It was fun. It was just us two. we had planned. Actually, here's what happened. Right, I had to build up all these points are dope. So if you got credit cards out there, guys, and you got points, make sure you can use them somewhere. Because what we did, we had these free points to do a tour around around Massachusetts. We could have picked either whale watching, some other stuff in the water, but it was real cold still, so we didn't pick any of that. We could have done this tour that showed you all the haunted places around Boston,
Yes.
or we could find the historical stuff around Boston. So we picked historical. I picked historical now, and I set it up for us. And what was so dope is we just got on a trolley, and the trolley took us around all of downtown and kind of a little bit outside of downtown Boston, and taught us the history of Boston, which was epic. Like there's a lot of things I did not know about history, first off, and then about Boston, like the Boston Tea Party and all that kind of stuff, where you know what I'm saying, they took you down these different places and you gotta learn it. So if you have points and you do decide to go on that trip and you can get it where you can get your parents to watch them or even family, do it, man. 100% do it. I can't. We want to do another one because we want to go to like New York or something. So within the next year or two, we will be planning something like
When you're in Boston, did you find a place to park the car?
that. we made we went down to Mass Ave and parked the car.
You packed the car.
Man, it was beautiful because the best part about it is I thought it was just like a TV thing for the accent. No,
Oh
sir.
no, it's awesome. I'd love to go there one day, but I'd have to go to Fenway Park if I went
Oh,
there.
you drove past it, man. It's beautiful. And one thing that I love the most about it is a lot of their freeway is underground, so it's called the Great Dig. All of that used to be up top, so it used to be
It's
a
crazy.
giant bridge that was like almost 100 feet in the air, and people lived under the bridge. It was crazy, but then they tore that bridge down because it was causing either too many deaths because people were already like falling off and they get drunk and walk the bridge and fall off the bridge.
They don't get drunk in Boston.
Right. But then they put it all on the ground. But the worst thing is that if there were to ever be a flood in Boston or in that area, because they're in a Puget Sound, like they're in like a little cove for Boston itself. So if it was to ever flood, Boston would be gone because it's under sea level, and if water was to flood in there, it's a wrap for that whole city. If
Uh,
you didn't know that little tidbit.
Well, my wife is smart as she is. She once asked me what state is New England City in.
Ooh, what'd you answer with?
I love you very much. Pretty. No, I no.
I hope she don't listen to this, brother.
No, because we know like she is like she's tens across the boards on everything when it comes to geography and directions. That's why I'm here.
Right, she got it.
She
Oh
get
no,
lost. She get lost in the GPS, but like, I'm just kidding. Just easy, baby. Love you so
you
much.
just
I can't wait to get my wedding ring back.
you just fumbled on the goal line, my guy.
I should get to bed before she turns on her thing and tells me to grab one of those blankets and just sleeps down here.
Down there, that part. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. This is another great show here at the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad Podcast. Chris, you got anything before we get out of here?
Hey man, we're having fun. So even if you guys aren't listening, we're gonna keep talking. I think we're getting there. I think we are. So I think if people listening today or will listen into this episode, then and they've listened to a few, I think that we're making some strides here. I think we're gonna have some fun, and we're laughing, telling some good stories, and I think we're throwing it all out there. Some's funny.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
No, man. Absolutely. If you haven't listened, go ahead and listen. We're on all streaming platforms. We are for anywhere that you want to get podcasts, Apple, Deezer, Amazon. I just looked it up for Amazon. We're on there. We're everywhere, man. iHeartRadio, all
A
of
to
them.
Z.
A to Z. Make sure you look us up, but also go ahead and like us on Facebook. Make sure you like the group. We will have the actual page up pretty soon. Hopefully, we have it within the next week or so. Hit that page up.
That's on me.
We've been busy. We've been busy.
Quit going on vacations and going fishing with your kids and
Get us the
do
pay.
some work around here.
But we got the we have the Twitter up, so make sure you follow us on Twitter. That is Rad Bad SAHD. Look it up. We're
Rad Bad Sad. Well played.
that one word. There you go. Hashtag it up. But this is your favorite show with your favorite host. My name is Jason, as well as the homeboy Chris here. I got something for you guys. Please make sure you be your absolute best, because being empowered starts today. We live life, we love unconditionally, and we seek growth. When you do all three of those, you're in your alpha state. So stay primal and get after it. Remember, I love you, Chris love you, and we out of here, dudes.